So sauna and cold therapy have been trendy for years now, but just like any wellness trend, it is not for everybody. I often see people that have no experience doing cold therapy going straight into a plunge for 5 minutes, and other people touting sauna as this ultimate weight loss hack. But that is simply not the best way to make the most out of these healing modalities. So let's go ahead and reel in the nonsense, check our egos at the door, and learn how to use these modalities with intention to support our wellness goals. So in this video, I'm gonna help you answer some of the following questions, such as, should I be using cold therapy versus hot therapy before or after a workout? Which one is better for anxiety versus depression? Are either of them good for people with chronic fatigue or brain fog? And much more. Hey there, I'm David, and I help people reclaim their lives from brain fog, chronic fatigue, and low self-esteem. So as a follow-up to my HigherDose sauna blanket review, I thought I would do a video on how to use heat therapy in conjunction with its sister modality, cold therapy. I've been getting questions in the comments of my videos and also questions from my clients in terms of how to incorporate heat therapy or sauna and cold therapy into their wellness plans, specifically to support their goals. So I'm going to clear up some misconceptions and give you some practical tips in order to help you understand which type of therapy, cold therapy or hot therapy, is best for which specific use case, as well as for your bio-individuality. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first question is sauna or cold therapy suited for my body type? So just like any wellness trend, we want to avoid following the herd and instead ask ourselves this very important question, which is, does this align with my bio-individuality? And so who's going to benefit from cold plunge the most? So overall, kapha or endomorphic body types are going to benefit from cold plunge the most. Well, why is that? Well, it's because cold plunge actually increases epinephrine and adrenaline in the body and eventually cortisol. And so generally speaking, endomorphs are those people who suffer from low mood, low energy, are generally more sluggish in the morning, and hold on to weight more easily. They're going to benefit more from cold plunge than someone like an ectomorph who already runs a little bit anxious, is very revved up, and doesn't need the support quite as much. So on the inverse, who should limit or avoid cold therapy or cold plunges? Well, it's going to be the opposite of the endomorphic body type, which is going to be the ectomorphic body type, or the vata body type in Ayurveda. And why is that? Well, it's because those people are usually revved up, they tend to skew towards being anxious, and they don't need that increase in norepinephrine or in adrenaline. So let's say you are an ectomorphic body type or a pitta body type or a vata pitta or anything like that, and you wanted to incorporate cold plunge or cold therapy, how might you do it? Well, you could do contrast showers, but you want to end on warm. So in other words, if you were to do a cold shower for, let's say, 1 to 2 minutes, and then go into your sauna for however long you choose to go into it, then you can certainly do that. Likewise, within the shower, you could also do contrast showers of 1 minute on, 1 minute off. And I have another video on actually how to do contrast therapy, so you can definitely check that out. But the point is that if you're a vata or just somebody who skews towards anxiety, or any sort of nervous system imbalances, then you're really going to want to end on warm in order to get yourself into the parasympathetic nervous system and avoid any of the negative impacts that increased adrenaline might have for you. So the next question is, which should I do before and after a workout in order to support recovery? So recovery is about a lot more than just being prepared for your next strength training session. When done properly, it can give you more vitality and zest for life than just doing exercise alone. So let's go ahead and put on our thinking fedoras and think, okay, well, before a workout, which one would actually make more sense? So we know now that cold therapy increases norepinephrine, it increases adrenaline, increases dopamine. When would we want to have that? That's right, it's going to be before a workout. And while a lot of people are, especially athletes, are doing cold soaks or ice baths after a workout, that is actually going to be a little bit counterproductive at times. Why? Well, they're doing that in order to tame inflammation, which makes a lot of sense if you're a professional athlete. However, for most people, the anti-inflammatory process or the anti-inflammatory properties of cold therapy actually are going to stunt or limit the muscle repair process. So you do need a little bit of inflammation in order to kickstart the muscle repair process. So for most people, actually doing cold therapy before a workout is going to be more beneficial. However, there is a caveat here. So because you're doing cold therapy before a workout, you might be a little bit more stiff. So you are gonna need to warm up a little bit more than you normally would, and that is especially true during the winter. So what's gonna be best after workout? That's right, I think you guessed it, it's gonna be sauna. So in our Western-based mindset, we often downplay the importance of getting into the parasympathetic nervous system, even when doing an intense workout like a HIIT training session. So when you get into the sauna after any type of workout, it's gonna help calm cortisol, calm norepinephrine, and increase serotonin and increase GABA, and actually improve your sleep later in the day. So it's a really helpful tool in order to kind of dial things down after the intensity of our workouts. And just one last benefit when it comes to doing sauna after a workout, and that's in regards to the timing of your workout. So in general, the advice is that you shouldn't do any sort of intense, strenuous workouts at night because it does affect your sleep. And you can certainly prove that with something like an Oura Ring or any other kind of wearable tracker. But if you were to do sauna after a HIIT training session, a spinning class, a long run, or an intense training session, what it does is actually make it a lot easier for you to fall asleep later on and mitigate the effects of that stimulating workout. So if you do have to work out, let's say after a long workday at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, jumping in the sauna for 20 to 30 minutes can make a world of a difference when it comes to really prepping your body for a good night's rest. So the next question I get often, because of the focus of my practice, is hot therapy or cold therapy better for those with burnout or chronic fatigue? And I would generally say that when you're burnt out or have chronic fatigue, you really want to be careful introducing any stressors, including healthy stressors such as fasting, exercise, or cold therapy. I would generally say that if you are burnt out or have chronic fatigue, you want to be especially careful with cold therapy or cold plunges. And the reason is because, generally speaking, if you have adrenal issues, that is a vata imbalance, usually dealing with the nervous system. And so you're going to be ramping up your nervous system when you do cold therapy, increasing that norepinephrine, adrenaline, and whatnot. And you're probably going to feel wiped out afterwards, even though you may feel a jolt of energy in the short term. So overall, I'd recommend sauna or hot therapy for those who are burnt out or have chronic fatigue. And the reason for this is because it is a vata imbalance, usually dealing with the nervous system to some degree, you're going to want to engage in more grounding activities that get you into the parasympathetic nervous system. So between these two stressors, because sauna is also a stressor, I would heavily favor sauna and really be careful or prudent about introducing cold therapy. However, you can eventually do it, and I'm going to show you how in this video, and you can also look at how to do contrast therapy. There's a link to that video right here as well. The next question is, which one should I do for anxiety versus depression? So while both of these modalities are labeled as good for your mood, so when it comes to anxiety, sauna is absolutely the way to go. In fact, if you do cold therapy when you're anxious, it could actually make things much worse. So with sauna, you're going to be getting into that parasympathetic nervous system, calming cortisol, calming norepinephrine, and really doing your body wonders when it comes to relieving your anxiety. So if you're feeling sluggish, have low mood, or even have diagnosed depression, cold therapy can be very beneficial for balancing your mood, especially if you're more of the kapha endomorphic body type or the mesomorphic or pitta body type. So the last question is going to be, what order should I do cold therapy versus hot therapy? So once again, if you're that vata ectomorphic body type, you run a bit anxious, or it's the evening, you're going to want to do the cold therapy first and then finish with the hot therapy or the sauna. And that way you kind of land in a more balanced state in that, or even in that parasympathetic nervous system. However, if it's earlier on in the day, you want the benefits of the energy and stimulation from cold therapy, and you're more on that kind of pitta, mesomorphic, kapha sort of end of the spectrum, then you're probably going to want to do sauna or the heat therapy first, and then finish with the cold therapy so you get the benefits of that added energy and stimulation, increased mood and focus throughout the day. All right, well, that's it for today. If you got value from this video, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. If you want tips on how to break the burnout cycle with tips, practices, and more, go ahead and find the PDF download in the description below, as well as in the highlighted comment. If you've been dealing with brain fog, chronic fatigue, and burnout for a pretty long time, you're going to want to check out my course, which there's a link in the description below, and it's going to help you build your own personalized protocol just within a couple days, and it's going to mimic the experience of working with me one-on-one for a fraction of the cost. And lastly, if you want to connect just one-on-one, do a discovery call, or explore what it would be like to work with me directly, you can go ahead and book a call with me where we will basically try and answer the question, can I help you with whatever it is you're facing. And with that, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you move through this life with ease. Lots of love to you all. I'll see you in the next episode.